must be upwards of 90,000 people here.
In our Sophia behind the line. Black Knight about to come up with Feederwar and Samasan. 2 scratchings. Fox Seal, the Filbert taken out at 1:21 today, if you've just joined us. And not only is this race going all around Australia on television in the world, but we welcome all the radio stations throughout Australia to the networks. And hope you enjoy the race. At Tallack goes in. Feederwar's behind the line with Empire Rose, Dark Intruder. Archer in 61 and 62, the first 2 ever. Peter Pan 32-34. Rain Lover 68-69. Think Big 74-75. Kiwi won it in 83, he runs today. Black Knight in 84, he runs today. What a nuisance. He's having a bit of grass in a paddock at the moment. I wonder if he knows what's happening, because he's not here today. He's retired. All great names, part of history. That's the wonderful thing, Des, about the race, that the jockey, the trainer and the horse become instant celebrities and a part of folklore in this country.
Yeah, they're fated once they win the Melbourne Cup. There's Kiwi and Noel Harris. Empire Rose just always at 4 dice. There's our Sophia, number 7.
If Kiwi wins today, it'll be a scene of great emotion. He won in 83 like no other horse we've seen. He's 9 years of age. No horse of 9 has won this great race. Noel Harris gives him a pat.
Yep. Nice things. He's very composed. He looks well. He hasn't got much surplus, but he looks well.
I wonder which horse will lead.
Pretty hard to say.
Not a genuine leader like last year with our boyfriend, is there?
No. He might be the leader. Waratah Bay.
Could be the one.
There's not many to go in, Bruce, and the best of calling, mate.
Thanks very much, Des. Empire Rose about to come up. They won't lock the gate behind Empire Rose. And Waratah Bay goes in. Our Sophia, Kiwi about to come up. It's Waratah Bay, Kevin Forrester, Samasan, Chris Johnson. You won't hear me, I don't think, when the gates open. There'll be this almighty roar. 90,000 people. They'll go off their head for about 5 seconds and then they'll settle. There's Kiwi. He does look well. I saw him work yesterday morning. Snowy Lupton, 66 years of age, and all rode him. Looks a bit leaner than last year. His form's very good. Here's Sophie, carrying more weight than any other mare to have won the race, if she can win today. Kiwi will be the last. Well, that's fitting. Up he comes, and they're set for the Melbourne Cup. The Foster's Melbourne Cup of 1986. Crowd start. Wait for the light. Ready. Light on racing, and they jumped away in a good line near the inside. My Tristram's Bell away well with Mintmaster, Sea Legend just now and Enchanteur. Mr. Lamondi began pretty well. Feederwar's going up early. Waratah Bay's very wide in the early stages. Joel midfield with Born to Be Queen. 4 dice well back. Indian Raj at Tallack's moving up quickly. Kiwi's behind a bunch of horses. Our Sophia's midfield and Dark and True to the rail. Kiwi second last, and the other great New Zealander Samasan last of all. 400 to go the first time. Feederwar a length at Tallack the outside. My Tristram's Bell the fence. Sea Legend 3 deep in the centre. Mintmaster Enchanteur. Joel a bit deep. Empire Rose. Black Knight the rail. Then Waratah Bay a length. Mr. Lamondi midfield outside our Sophia. They're walking early. 2 to Born to Be Queen. 4 dice a length and a half. Rising Fear from Dark Intruder. Final advance in the centre. And Indian Raj 3 deep. 2 links Reckless Tradition. Samasan Kiwi. And Gauchi has just now last of all. 35 lengths first to last, 2,200 out in the cup. They leave the grandstands behind them. And Feederwar 2 lengths to at Tallack and My Tristram's Bell, and they're going slowly. 2 lengths away, Sea Legend outside, Mintmaster a length to Joel. 1 to Enchanteur getting a nice run. Empire Rose travelling beautifully today. Rising Fury can't hold it any longer. Skelton around them 3 deep. Black Knight, Waratah Bay. 1 to our Sophia, then Mr. Lamondi. Born to Be Queen moving up in the centre. Indian Raj 3 deep. 4 dice on the inside, about a length further back than the Kiwi improving today with Reckless Tradition. Then final advance, Sophie just in front of those. 2 to Samasan, a length further back, Dark Intruder, and 2 to just now. Halfway in the cup of the 1,600 Feederwar, a half Rising Prince, a length My Tristram's Bell with that Tallack the outside. 1 to Sea Legend, and then Joel 3 deep. Mintmaster the inside, a length further back, Empire Rose. Mr. Lamondi 3 deep, but he's going all right. Enchanteur at the 1,400. Around the outside, Waratah Bay taking off from Born to Be Queen, Indian Raj, Black Knight, Our Sophia. Final Advance well back. Kiwis back with those horses. Making a run around them, Samarsan, Four Dice well back, and one of the last is Dark Intruder, and just now also starting to take off. They go up towards the 1,000 in the Cup. And Fidawara half in front, Rising Fear the outside, one to At Talak, My Tristram's Bell. Sea Legends moving up quickly with Joel out a bit deep on the track and moving around them. Mr. Lamondi's going well. A length to Midmaster coming into the picture. Empire Rose in that group of horses with Black Knight. They start to bunch up in the Cup. Waratah Bay's wider out. Kiwis behind those horses. Samarsan's trying to thread his way through. Four Dice out wide. Final Advance well back. Just now's about third last. Born to Be Queen in front of those horses, and Dark Intruder's last into the straight. They've got 4.50 to go in the Cup. Fidawar joined by Rising Fear. At Talak about to come at them from My Tristram's Bell. Mintmaster. Joel with a run. Empire Rose, Mr. Lamondi, Born to Be Queen running on in reckless tradition. At Talak at the 300s burst away from Rising Fear. 2 lengths to Sea Legend. Further back Joel, Mr. Lamondi, Kiwi with a late run. At Talak in front from Rising Fear. Kiwi running on with Sea Legend. Clark's got a one, I think. At Talak's a length and a half in front of Rising Fear. Colin Hayes wins his second Cup. At Talak a half Rising Fear. Third Sea Legend. Kiwi a mighty run fourth. Then Empire Rose, reckless tradition, Mr. Lamondi. Behind them, My Tristram's Bell with Fidawar. Joel was in that group of horses with Born to Be Queen and Our Sophia, and just now Black Knight, Mintmaster, On Chanter and Samarsan. Indian Raj behind them with Waratah Bay, and then further back Final Advance and Four Dice. And one of the last to finish in the Cup would have been Dark Intruder. What a great race. I notice the Kiwi's rider has dismounted. I hope he's all right. He's not. He's broken down, Kiwi. What a tragedy. I hope he's okay. He's back behind Atalak. Noel Harris is off Kiwi. I thought for a moment, Des, at the furlong, that he was going to swamp them.
I don't know whether he's faulted after the post or coming to the line, but he was just about going to get them, Bruce. It was a great call, I must say. Gee, I thought there was excitement there, but you kept your cool. How, I don't know. That last horse you asked me to look for, I forgot all about it with the excitement of the race.
Well, Colin Hayes.
Unbelievable.
He's a great gentleman. He's a wonderful trainer. 4, 9 and 24 it is in the Cup. 321.7. Michael Clark has ridden some great winners, but he's never won the Cup. And today he joins the great riders that have won this mighty race. And he rode a superb race, Des. He was in the firing line, and look, he's got it one, and he must know. And here's Kiwi on the left.
Yeah, Kiwi out right in the middle of the track. I thought that it was going to come along and do the ultimate, get there. But Sea Legends run a good... What about Bobby Skelton on Rising Fear too? He was pumping away there, Bob, and nearly got the money. But at Talak in the blue colours, Rising Fear out, Sea Legend coming into third spot now, and Kiwi dying gamely there, and Empire Rose just behind them in the yellow colours. But there it is at Talak. Second was Rising Fear.
Sea Legend third. 4:35 and 160 in Victoria. Rising Fear 6:40. Sea Legend 4:05. And the crowd will go wild. They'll doff their caps and anything else they might have on today when Nat Talak comes on and walks through the roses. A horse who ran fourth in the English Derby. A son of an English Derby winner. He won the Grand Prix de Paris at Longchamp over 3,000 metres, a Group 1 race. He's owned by one of the most famous and wealthy owners, and here's Ron Taylor with Colin Hayes. Let's see if we can pick up what Colin's saying.
He's ever stood it for 7 times.
And you were thrilled when you got to the hit to the front. Did you think you had it? Did you think he'd hang on?
Yes, he rode him so superbly. He'd rested him, and Thompson Jones, his previous trainer, said that if he was held up, he had a brilliant burst for 100 yards. He just had to be presented at the right time. So,
and don't underestimate your own part. You must have had him fit as hands could make him on the day.
Well, he'd had a dream preparation into it. He'd never had a step back, and his form was perfect. Really.
Did you set him for this race particularly?
Yes, he's been set for it. Well done, Charlie.
And what about the Sheikh? How will you get in touch with him?
Well, it's being filmed direct on satellite to Dubai.
So he'll know about it now.
He'll be watching it now.
Probably on Channel 10.
Yes, he will.
Thank you very much, Colin Hayes.
Well, that was superb to have Colin Hayes talking about at Talak, and we know we're going to Dubai. So congratulations to the connection. Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum at Talak won the McKinnon on Saturday, but even better than that, he won the Foster's Cup today for Michael Clark and Colin Hayes. Number 9 was second, Rising Fear. What a ride, Bobby Skelton. Third was Sea Legend. Fourth was number 6, and that was Kiwi. I'll never forget him. And fifth was number 23, a mighty run by Empire Rose. But this is the moment every jockey thinks about, dreams about. And Michael Clark, he's in tears. He said last night that he slept tight. He rode a winner earlier today. You can see what this race means to Australians. And Clark has tears streaming down his eyes as he comes off. And he'll talk to Colin in a moment. And Hayes, who's been one of the greatest trainers of all time, has only won 2 Melbourne Cups. I say only. He won one with Belldale Ball in 1980, an imported horse, Des. And he's won one with another imported horse with that Talak. And on the turn, Clark was ready to pounce.
Ready to go, and he put him right into the right spot. The horses that were back in the field really had no hope of catching. I mean, it was a superb run by the winner, but Kiwi, you couldn't take anything away from him, seeing that he broke down. He was way back third last at one stage, but Michael Clark has actually exploded to the lead here. Kiwi off the track, and at Talak, they said he mightn't run in the Caulfield Cup. There was something wrong with him. Even as late as this morning, there were people at the track saying, oh, he's a bit of a shuffler. He doesn't, but that's his action. There's been nothing wrong with that Talak. Here he comes now. Rising Fear. Bobby Skelton must have had his heart in his mouth too. And there goes Sea Legend, Kiwi, Empire Rose over on the fence. Tristram's, my Tristram's Bell weakening a little on the fence, but a great win. Died gamely, all the other horses. I thought there'd be 10 across the line, Bruce, but nearly on straightening up there.
Yes, it was a magnificent race. Truly run. They went slowly early, but they accelerated from the mile. 3:21.7. And Colin Hayes, he said, Des, earlier today, he was at peace with the world. Well, he must be on top of it right now.
Yep, there he is.
Excellency, Mr. Bassett, Mr. Elliott, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Sheikh Hamdan for giving me the privilege of training such a great horse, and all the staff behind the scenes that have done such a great job to help me win this cup, and Michael Clark for his superb ride. I think Michael's really arrived now as a jockey.
Gentlemen, well, to me this is a dream come true. I could never ever expect anything like this. I have so many people to thank. My father, who I was apprenticed to, has been a tremendous backup, my family. Special thanks to Mr. Hayes, his son David, the whole staff at the Hayes stable, Gary Fennessy, Ron Nestor. They've all been so good to me and backed me all the way, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you. It's something that, you know, besides myself at the moment, I've never dreamt of anything like this. And, you know, even though I knew I had a good chance, I still kept thinking, geez, you know, it's something that I can't be done. No.
You've always been what might be sort of very professional jockey, tried very hard always through your career. Then 8 months ago, you got the big break when you were engaged to ride for Colin Hayes.
That's right. That's you know, that was a turning point for me. I always loved racing and I enjoy riding, and to get that sort of opportunity was, you know, something that you can set your sights at winning big races, because you know you're going to ride good horses.
And when you started though with Colin, you're under a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah, but you know, pressure's, you know, part of being successful, and I don't think if you can adapt to pressure, you know, sure enough you'll go on, I think.
And you also modified your style and did things Colin told you.
Oh, I wouldn't say I modified my style. No, look, I've always rode, you know, this way, and I think a lot of people expect you to improve when you're riding winners, but I feel I've got on good horses, and you know,
it's made the difference.
Yeah, and confidence helps too, I think.
And of course, you've ridden the perfect race today, Michael.
Oh.
I'll say that. You needn't say that. Talak settled into, here we are on the outside. You're drawn wide. Now, were you worried about that going into the race?
He was a little bit slow out the gates too. He missed the start about half a length, and I didn't really want to rev him up too much.
Here we are, after going about 400 metres.
Yeah, I got over lovely here and just settled behind Phil DeRoy.
Okay, now how are you feeling this? That's obviously where you wanted to be. Now going out of the straight, that was a nice spot.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried I might have been a bit too close to the leaders here because he was sort of had no cover from there on.
Was he racing keenly?
Oh, he did travel well all the way.
Just settled nicely,
yeah,
not pulling or anything.
Settled.
Now here you are at the 1600. You got a lovely spot there.
Yeah, I was happy here because when the other horse went around to Rising Fear, Giant Filderari, he settled really good here.
Now we'll go on to what about the 800 metres. You're still running third and you're dictating the terms there, Michael, sitting up waiting and got everything under your control.
Yeah, I just come out off the fence here to give myself a little bit of room because he started to travel up onto their backs a little bit here.
So you've been happy about that, though?
Yeah, oh, geez, I was going good.
Now here you are, just waiting to wait till they straighten up before you make your move. Or no, you're not 3 wide yet, just coming out now. And here you go. Now he's still sitting on him. You're not asking for anything at this stage.
No, he travelled lovely up to here.
Yeah. Now when you came into the straight, had you made up your mind when you were going to go on him?
I thought I might have got there a little bit soon because I travelled really good.
Now here you are, just asking for a bit of an effort now.
Yeah, when I went on him now, he dashed.
Yeah. He's gone away. He's a nice, smooth, long striding horse.
Yes, he let go here and went to the line very well.
Now, did you have any worries? They got close to you towards the finish. Were you worried?
Oh, I was for a few strides.
Now, here a nice lead, but here's Rising Fear starting to peg you back, and they're coming down the outside as well.
Yeah, I could see them coming, at the corner of the eye.
Feel them too, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now you've just there you are, just going to go to the post and you've got the money. Yeah. Well, congratulations, Michael. You certainly deserve it. You've tried very hard and it's a great win for you.
Colin Hayes now looking at the finish of that race, a very proud man, but you said to me the other day, Colin, apart from the horse, you've now got a champion jockey.
Thank you. Yes, well, I think that's a fair comment too. I think now we have got a champion jockey. I'm delighted with Michael's progress, and he's certainly arrived as a jockey, and he's always been a very dedicated, loyal person and always had talent, and he's just needed the opportunity to bring it out.
Kevin Forrester, Waratah Bay, every chance, Kevin?
Yeah, went off the fence from outside barrier and just couldn't run the distance.
Thank you, Kevin.
Nice middle stages, and when the pace slackened, decided to go to the front, and he was running nice.
Well, she was travelling all right, but she did pull up a bit small. She didn't run home at all.
Thanks, mate. Hey, Gary, what about your mount?
Yeah, just struggled, mate.
No good. Harry, what about Nick Master?
Didn't seem to run it out.
Thank you. Ronnie Quinton, born to be Queen. Ronnie, any excuses?
No, Ted, I had a good run all the way, a trouble-free run, and should have followed Mr. Lamondi up, but I think I just failed to stay the last little bit.
Thanks very much, Ronnie Quinton. Malcolm Payfooter, too far for it?
Yeah, at this stage.
Thanks, mate. Lance O'Sullivan?
Too hot, I think.
Too hot for final advance, thank you. What about Kiwi? Noel, big run?
Pulled up short.
What about Roy? What about your mount? Good run of the race?
Had the run of the race, or
Joel.
she wanted to be, had every chance.
Thanks, mate. David Walsh with Mr. Lamondi. David?
I got flat now after a furlong and a half, and then he just pulled, he just wouldn't settle, so I let him work up a bit, but he still refused to settle, and he was going, beaten at the 800.
Thank you. Russell Thompson, rode Reckless Tradition, every chance, Russell?
Yes, I had
Gary?
I had a pretty good run in the race and all that, and there was no excuses whatsoever, but he's run a nice race and he kept on running to the line.
Thank you, Russell. Very much indeed. Pat?
Yeah, he's probably gone over the hill. Right over the hill. But he'll
every
be right.
chance in the run.
Oh,
Craig? Craig Din? My Tristram Spells?
Yeah, she had a good run. Probably had been a heavy traction 101.
Thanks, Craig, very much.
Fear finished in second placing. What a great run it was with Bobby Skelton. Sea Legend, hasn't he improved? What a good horse he'll be next year for third. In fourth, well, Kiwi, his run was sensational. We're hoping that nothing's too bad with him. It was a mighty effort. Fifth, Empire Rose, excellent run on a preparation that wasn't ideal. Watch for her next year for sure. In sixth placing was My Tristram's Bell, and another very good performance by this mare. She likes Flemington the Oaks. I thought Reckless Tradition ran a very good race in seventh placing. He was steaming home. Mr. Lamondi, well, David Walsh said he pulled a bit early and he finished in eighth placing just behind them. Joel was a good solid run, just didn't quite get the 2 miles. She tired in the last little bit. She was ninth. In 10th placing, Born to be Queen, Ron Quinton said just failed to stay. Had a nice run. There's the grey Mint Master in 11th placing. Harry gave it every chance again, but he just didn't quite fire in the straight. In 12th placing, it was Feet Awar. He ran a good race until about the furlong and a half, and then he got the stitch. He was fourth last year. Our Sophia, well, Well, she seems destined now not to win one of these big cups. She tried her hardest, but 13th today. And then behind her, a gap to Enchanteur. That's about where you expect him to run. A good, solid little stayer. 15th was Black Knight. He didn't fire today. His chance is gone, of course. He won one in 84. He's part of history. Indian Raj, 16th, failed to fire. I think he's lost the form that he had in Sydney earlier on. Just now, not firing at all, 17th. Never really got into the race. Samasan, he was a disappointment, 18th. You can see how they're strung out now. In 19th placing was Fordyce, who was a roughie in the race. Behind Fordyce, 20th, final advance. Never really got into it. He was trapped a bit deep for a stride or two. Waratah Bay was second last. And how's this? Pat Hyland won it last year. Today last on Dark Intruder. So for your sweeps, Dark Intruder was the last horse over the line. But much more important than that, At Talac was first past the post.